Hello everyone. Imagine you come across a breaking news of our Prime Minister announcing that from tomorrow onwards, no citizen would have to pay income tax any longer. India has now become a 0% income tax country. Now, it's definitely achievable. In fact, there are several other countries in the world where no personal income tax exists. But for a large country like India, is it possible to do this? And if yes, what will be its pros and cons? Let's find out.
पर्सनल इनकम टैक्स
मेरे को टैक्स सिस्टम से खुंदक है हिंदुस्तान के।
अगर आप इनकम टैक्स अबॉलिश कर देते हैं,
current tax regulations, it is quite high in terms of income tax.
इंडिया में टैक्स इज प्यूनिटिव, इट्स अ पनिशमेंट, इट्स नॉट अ टैक्स।
इस छोटी सी पॉपुलेशन पे आप कितना टैक्स करेंगे? उसी इंसान को आप कितना निचोड़ते जाएंगे? So you have to get more people into
इनकम टैक्स अबॉलिश करें।
12 महीने में से 5 महीने आप सरकार के लिए काम कर रहे हो।
with income up to 7 lakhs will not have to pay any tax at all.
मुक्त कर दो, नहीं भाई।
इट हैज टू सिंप्लीफाई यार।
Let's understand some basic taxation principles first. Now, government collects two types of taxes: direct taxes and indirect taxes. Direct taxes are those that you as an individual or a company pay to the government directly, such as the corporate tax, capital gains tax, property tax, and the income tax. Now, apart from these, there are indirect taxes which aren't paid directly by the individual but by purchasing goods or services where the taxes are included in the cost itself. The GST, excise duty on petrol, diesel, etc. are some good examples of indirect tax. Now, there are very few citizens in the country that pay income tax, and according to the data from the Finance Ministry, in FY 2022-23, only 2.24 crore Indians pay taxes out of 1.4 billion population of the country. This is about 1% of the population of the country. The reason is simply that a significant portion of citizens are so poor that they do not reach the exemption limit. Their income is not enough. For a businessman or a company, it's relatively easy to hide their income and evade paying tax than compared to a salaried taxpayer. Because when a common man gets a salary, the income tax is already deducted from the salary before being paid. So what are the benefits if income tax is abolished? Now, there are some presumptions and arguments that are used in its favor by experts and economists. The first argument is that the money that the income taxpayer will save by not having to pay income tax, they will be able to spend it on other things for personal benefit or pleasure, leading to more money being circulated in the economy and increasing the economic growth of the country. The second argument is that the people who were liable to pay income tax but were hiding their money from the tax authorities, by abolishing income tax, their black money will be converted into white money. They wouldn't need to hide the money and they would be able to openly use that money, can get it deposited in banks, or if they openly use it to buy things, it will again lead to an increase in the money circulation in the economy. Also, with increased deposits in the banks, they will be able to lend money to the public more easily. The interest rates will fall, causing people to borrow more, spend more, and boosting economic growth further. The third argument is quite simple. The money spent by the government to collect income tax will be saved. The expense of maintaining documentation, the money spent on income tax officers, and also from an individual's perspective, all the hassle, time, money invested in filing income tax returns, paying the accountants, all of that is saved and spent on other things. As for the potential disadvantages, the biggest and clear-cut of them will be the revenue loss of the government. Look at this graph, which shows the percentage by which various taxes add to the government's revenue. Income tax contributes over 26% to the government's total revenue. So over 1/4 of the tax revenue of the government will disappear if income tax is abolished. So where will this huge amount be recovered from? There are about 23 countries in the world without an income tax. Let's look at some of them. The United Arab Emirates, where there is neither a personal income tax nor a corporate tax. In the UAE, oil companies are taxed and the corporate tax on them can even range up to 55%. Apart from this, the foreign banks operating in the UAE are taxed up to 20% on their UAE-based income. The entertainment tax is also quite high, that is levied on amusement parks and theaters. The import duties are also high. When one imports alcohol from another country, then it can be taxed up to 50%. Additionally, when the alcohol is sold at the point of sale, it is taxed 30%. But But overall for the UAE, the answer to this question is oil. And India does not have any oil to sell. So for India, this revenue source does not exist. Of the 23 countries, 6 are like the UAE that majorly rely on oil for the functioning of their government. But what about the other countries? There's a European country called Monaco, a small country with no personal income tax. Monaco is a renowned tax heaven where the rich want to stay. But it is a special case. This country is so small and so many rich people live in this tiny area that the property price here is extremely expensive. And the government collects 1% tax on the property being rented. The VAT here is quite high at about 20%. And because so many rich people live in this overcrowded area, the cost of living here is one of the highest in the world. If such a situation is created in India, then it will be terrible for the common people. So in case of India, if the income tax is brought down to zero, one option is that we can increase the GST to compensate the revenue loss of the government. But the problem is the fact that GST is not a progressive tax because it is the same for everyone. So essentially, the rich and the poor would be paying the same amount of tax, which is grossly unfair. The second option can be to introduce a new tax, like an inheritance tax. Many people argue that this tax is more justified as compared to income tax because the future generation didn't work to earn the inherited wealth. But overall, the government should do what is in the favor of the common man, in the favor of its own citizens. And with that, I leave you to your thoughts.